I guess I'll start. I'm the director of mathematics and computer science K through 12 in Huntington School District.
Nick Wagner. I'm a high school computer science teacher at Huntington.
And I'm Marybeth Robinette. I am involved with instructional technology and data for the district. About, I don't know, 4,300 students, a 60% poverty rate, a very diverse group of students, which makes it very interesting and challenging at times. But it's a great place to work. We have been a one-to-one district for years because we feel that it's important that all students have a chance to learn about technology, get comfortable with using computers and Chromebooks, and we felt that that was the best way forward. So even before COVID, we were a one-to-one district. Before COVID, our younger students didn't take devices home, and that changed obviously during COVID. So, but we had luckily we had devices, enough devices so that every student was able to have one during COVID. So that's a little bit about Huntington. So we partnered with Western Suffolk BOCES and a computer company called Mouse, and they really helped lead the way. So in that partnership, we were able to send a group of teachers, I don't know, 10 to 15 teachers every year at all different grades. I guess it was a K-8 initiative, and we sent teachers, and it was a work in progress, especially the first year. But what I thought that Teresa and I added to everything was that we took the standards. When they came into our district, we made a spreadsheet with all the standards, like the K1 standards and all of the different standards. And then we asked the teachers that were involved in this partnership if they would go look at the standards and say, is this something we already do? Like, are these things that we're comfortable with? We already do as some part of our, within our population. And they put activities and things that they were already doing, and then also ones that they wished they could do and had ideas about. So that's one of the ways that we started. So do you want to take it from there, Teresa, and say how you've built on that over the years?
I think that was the pivotal part of the success we've had so far, is that Excel sheet. And really having the teachers sit together by building as well as grade level, and to really decipher, because the New York State computer science standards are in bands. So we said, okay, K1, what's going to be done in kindergarten, what's going to be done in first grade, and we really emphasize the fact that it can be done over 2 grade levels. It does, but we wanted to kind of specify so that we knew it would get down, and then. That took what, Marybeth, about a year to kind of put that together, if not longer.
I would say right? Even 2 years. We were working on that.
Yeah.
So we did 1 year, and then the next group of teachers were involved, and then they revised the document and added to it. And it really, I think the reason we are in the place we're at is because we had teachers that were building what was going to happen with the computer science standards on their grade levels, and figuring out the projects that would address the standards.
Yeah, and I think that was also key. Was it wasn't just like, okay, these are the standards you can do in kindergarten, these are you're going to do in first grade. Then after that was just decided upon, then we actually had the next group, because the following year is when we started to add resources that would assist teachers in implementing those standards. And then after resources, we actually inputted specific ideas for lesson plans. So it just kind of built from year to year. And by doing that, we were building capacity across the district, because we kept training another 12, 13, 14 teachers a year. So I don't even know what year Marybeth would know, maybe 4, year 4, 5? 4. We're in year 4 right now. So that was a K-8 initiative. And right now where we're at is we have this awesome document, and now we're training teachers on using resources to implement the standards. And we also have tech mentors in each of the buildings, and our library media specialists, which are our turnkey kind of key people in each of the buildings, to assist the teachers in implementing these standards. But we also wanted to drive home, as Marybeth said, that it's not in isolation. They're doing a lot of these standards across in multiple areas. And we really addressing that now. Yeah, and that's how we built at least the K8. In the middle school, it was a little easier. I'll just speak to that because we offer a technology 7, a computer science 7 class, and a tech 8. So both in our middle school is just 7th grade and 8th grade. And so we already had the courses there in their schedule. It was just a matter of revising the curriculum within those courses. And so that was a lot easier to do at the middle level than K through 6.
Another thing that Huntington has at the elementary level, which also is really helpful, is that our librarians see students twice a week instead of just once a week. So they have them for a library period, but they also have them for a technology period. And the technology period is where they're addressing a lot of the computer science standards. And they do that in conjunction with the teacher that is in the classroom at the time. So it's not a free period for the teacher. It's the two of them working together to address the computer science standards. And that's something that was already built into our schedules. So we were just lucky, and was good forethought that our district had to schedule it like that.
Nick, I'm going to let Nick speak now, and then I'll just jump in.
Sure.
And Nick, move over because you're not in the camera.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. So for our high school curriculum, so we started, I think it was 5 years ago, maybe 6, where we didn't have any computer science classes at all. And we started with just AP Computer Science A and an intro course. So that first year, I think I maybe had 30 kids total between those two. And then we were just really focused on building capacity and trying to get more and more students. And then obviously the computer science standards came out, and now every student is really required to meet these standards. So we ended up partnering with a few schools. So right now we're partnered with Siena College. We're going to be partnering with Farmingdale next year to offer a different course. And we were using Project Lead the Way before, but now we're in the Siena curriculum. And then Amazon as well. They do, it's called Project STEM. It's with their Future Engineer program, and they offer curriculum for Computer Science A. So right now, all students coming in are either going to be taking our Intro to Computer Science course, which is sponsored through Siena College, or they can take AP Computer Science Principles, which we also run in conjunction with Siena College. And then after that, they have the option to take AP Computer Science A, which we are going to be partnering with Siena College next year for. And then next year, we're also going to be offering web design and cybersecurity. So we'll have a really good amount of options for our students that can take different types of computer science that might be interesting to them.
And just let me add, in order to graduate Huntington High School, all students must take a computer science class before they graduate high school. Well, and then that's just what we all decided. When I first got here, as Nick said, all we had was AP Computer Science A, and students would just, if they had an interest, we just put them in that without much background at all. And Nick could probably speak to, the scores were okay, but they weren't like
It's a tough class to jump into for the first
time.
time.
It's hard. And if you look at College Boards, they really want kids to take principles before A. If you look at the sequence. So that's what we're really trying to do and build, is to really build capacity, but we want to give large students in our high school a technology background, a computer science background, and also have them do really, really well. And we know that we have to start with an intro class and then principles, and then from principles A. But once next year rolls around, I think we're going to do our intro class, and then they'll be able to take web design without having to take one of the AP computer science classes. But cybersecurity will have, I think they're going to need principles. I think just principles.
Yeah, we'd like to.
Yeah, we keep, they keep telling us that cybersecurity is, you have to have a little bit of maturity because of the content. So that will definitely be a more upperclassman type course. With students that really do have a strong computer science background. I just want to speak to Siena. I can't say enough. They're really, really supportive. They have you want to speak to like a collegial circle or a support group?
Yeah, so when we partner with Siena College, we actually, myself and other 2 computer science teachers in the district, we went up for a training for 4 days, and it was great. You got to meet with other computer science teachers around the state who are also partnered. Some of them were brand new. Some of them were already partnered with Sienna, and they'll come back for a day or two to just kind of talk about what their experience is. But it really just kind of gives you the opportunity. We have monthly meetings through Zoom where you can meet with these teachers. You always have email access, and there's a real community there of people who are also teaching the same content as you. And as we know, like, there's not a lot of computer science teachers in every district, if there even is one. So having the ability to bounce ideas and questions off of other people is really invaluable. So the people at Sienna, Jim Matthews and Robin, they do such a wonderful job.
At the elementary level, so we don't have a curriculum per se. That's where our library media specialists and all the teachers who work to create our living document have taken all the different software that Huntington has. So we are a very, I would say, a software-rich district. We have, so many choices for teachers and students to use. And then they developed projects that would fit into the computer science standard using the various software. Like we have Book Creator, we have Nearpod, we have Canva, so they have built projects. We have other, I'm losing my thought, but they have other different robotics type of things for elementary world that we have built into the curriculum. But it's really not one, like we don't have a book to hand them or a, scripted anything to hand them. Really, they have to understand what the computer science standards are and then build it into that period that they have using the document that we've created.
When I first started, our former assistant super curriculum instruction, she really took the lead and was able to get the grant, right, Marybeth?
Well, she worked with BOCES. BOCES offered Huntington to be able to participate in this grant, and we chose, and she was fully on board. And then the more we learned about what was required, she really, worked with Teresa to add all of the courses that needed to be added at the secondary level, to add programs that would meet this computer science standards. So she really, she was the one who got us signed up with BOCES, but then she asked Teresa and I to work with the teachers and work with Mouse and Western Suffolk BOCES to create something for Huntington. And it was her leadership that really helped us get started.
So, I think as a leadership team, it didn't come from one administrator. I think we all were very, very passionate about having our kids that graduate Huntington have exposure and have some background in computer science. I think it was a no-brainer. Everybody was on board with this initiative of having them complete one computer science class before they graduate high school. It was really easy. Everyone was excited about it. Is it a scheduling concern sometimes? With with some kids that have support classes, it becomes a little bit of an issue. And there's flexibility, of course, because we want all kids to be successful and we want to meet their needs. So, but for the most part, I would say, the majority of our students will be taking computer science class before they graduate.
So Teresa and I have worked together on this a lot. And with this partnership with BOCES and Mouse, they come in 1 or 2 times a year, and we release the teachers that are participating in this program to have a day to collaborate. And Teresa and I also clear our schedules, and we work with them as they're building these programs to use with all the other teachers in the district. So, that's really what we've done. I'll let Teresa, that's what we've done at the K-8 level. And then Teresa has more to say about other levels.
Yeah, so at the middle level, like I said, I have 3 technology teachers. One, technology 8 really is more of the more of shop, more of the traditional technology, where technology 7 is where they get the computer science standards. Although the back end is still part of the standards, that's the focus in Tech 8, Tech 7, and we have Tech 7 and then Computer Science 7. And in both of those classes, it really addresses like 4 of the 5 key ideas in the computer science standards. So, and they also are involved at times, like right now, I have them training the K-6 teachers on some of the apps to use to implement the computer science standards at the elementary level. So I've kind of like turnkeying using my middle school tech teachers to support my elementary teachers and implementing those standards. And it's working out really well. I think people feel comfortable. The elementary teachers feel comfortable because these are, these teachers are teachers that work in our middle school. So it's kind of, it's working out really well. What about high school? What was I going to say about high school?
Well, yeah, and then I think it flows really nicely into high school. So, you know, just the curriculum, just the topics, the rigor of everything. I think that Teresa and Marybeth did a wonderful job of kind of ramping it up as you go. Obviously, you kind of spiral back to things you know and get deeper and deeper into the material. And then once they get into 9th grade and they're taking our intro course, or some of them even jump right into principles, which is okay. They're more prepared now than they were before. And they're not seeing some of these things for the first time ever. They know certain coding structures. No, maybe they only did it in a block-based coding environment in middle school. Now, when we jump into Python, they're like, oh yeah, a loop, an if statement. I've seen that before. So it definitely flows really well. And then the rigor, the depth of understanding just builds throughout high school. And then with these specialized courses that we're going to be offering.
I think initially we had multiple grade levels that we were just exposing them to the standards, but now we're really honing in by grade level. And now we're training teachers like in small groups. I have my 1st grade teachers, my 2nd grade teachers, my 3rd grade teachers, and they're working in groups and they're sitting at tables and they're asking each other questions and they're sharing. Oh, I did this, I did that. I use Canva, I use Book Creator, I didn't use Book Creator. So there's a lot of conversation going on now because we are now working in smaller groups.
The other things I think is that with our librarians who are, media specialists and have that tech period, which they've had for years, they are taking the lead and making sure that the classroom teachers, they're not alone in there trying to implement these. They have a period with this partnership with people who feel comfortable around technology. So that works really well as well.
At the high school level, when I started here, I had only Nick. I think he was like 2 classes of computer science. That's it. Now I have 3 full-time teachers teaching computer science. So now they're their own team, which is exciting for Nick because now he can like bounce things off of
Talk to people.
talk to people. I'm very involved outside of my day job, which means that I have a lot of connections across Long Island, and I knew Malloy was the school to go to find candidates, teachers. They have a 15 credit program, and I reached out to them and I got very involved in what the process was to get certified. And you'd be surprised how many other administrators had no idea like what it was to get certified in computer science. What the requirements were to teach a computer science class at the high school level. So I am very involved in that, and it was something that I really focused on, and I think because of that, we were able to hire 2 new computer science teachers.
But our robotics team, which is definitely technology-based, computer science-based, a lot of coding and stuff, they do a wonderful job gathering partnerships from businesses around to help their funding for their team and all that. I believe our robotics team actually has a business department inside of it. So you have the kids who build the robots and code the robots, and then you have the kids who go out and make these partnerships and fundraise and do all these things. So they've really done a wonderful job, just technology-wise, funding for themselves and for the district to keep them going.
And we have similar clubs at the elementary level that are also volunteer-based. Like one of our parents at one of our primary schools started First Lego League with 3rd graders several years ago. So, definitely it was a passion of his. So he brought it to the elementary school where his children attended. And that's gone throughout the district then.
That's a good answer.
That's on our to-do list.
Yeah.
it definitely is a work in progress. I mean, I know right now a lot of parents, I don't want to say they're resistant to it, but they do have reservations of why does my child have to take this class and all that stuff. And, you know, I just tell my kids that this is an important skill. It's 2024 and everything you do is going to be revolved around technology. And how could we say that we're really educating you if you have no idea how that computer works that you're on God knows how many hours a day? So to say that there's no resistance from the parents would not be truthful. And even from the kids, because some kids want to take an art elective, they want to take this and that. But we tried our best to help them see how positive this can be for them.
I think because we have opportunities across all grade levels and across all curriculum levels, and every student has a device and is using the device, being taught how to use the device. I think we really are hitting, you know, what student needs are. At one point, we tried to have student digital portfolios because we felt like it was a great way for students to express themselves the way they would wanted to. Like they could read something, or they could create, you know, a Google slideshow or something, you know, else to show that they knew whatever the curriculum standards were, not necessarily in computer science, but in any curriculum. And you know, because we no longer require a digital portfolio for students, we do have students that are still using those tools that are part of computer science to show what they know. Just, I have a computer science degree from 1985 and was really different. Floppy disks were a thing. I skipped the whole card thing, but if I didn't have the computer science background that I have, I wouldn't be able to do the data job that I do, because I use the things that I learned in computer science throughout my whole career, especially the last 15, 20 years that I've been doing data for the district. And so I really passionately believe this is something that is important for all students to at least have an understanding and some tools that they can use no matter what their job is.
I just want to mention too that at the high school level, if a student takes a computer science class, we offer it for math credit to fulfill the math requirement. So that really does capture a lot of kids. And so what, you know, we're really trying to sell computer science, and that's a big sales point, is that they can get a math credit for it. So I think honestly it's really exploding, and I'm so excited. I know Nick knows I'm so excited because I just think it's going to keep growing and growing, and that's exactly what we want. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just from a teacher's perspective, I was somebody who took 0 computer science classes, knew nothing about it. I was a math teacher when I started, and then I was kind of the low man on the totem pole, and they asked if anybody wanted to start it. So I took on the job, and I really fell in love with it quickly. But I think a lot of people are very scared when they hear about it. They think it's this like crazy, difficult, I can't do it thing. And I mean, I'm proof that anybody can do it. I had no background. You have to put the work in, you have to, you know, learn it and all that stuff. But if it's something that you're passionate about and you want to do, then it's not a scary thing. It's something that any teacher, you could do if you wanted to.